What's up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, coming back at you tonight for another lake breakdown. This time we're going to break down Lake Bardwell, which is actually located about 4 miles southwest of Ennis in Ellis County, Texas. Now we're going to start off using the Texas Park and Wildlife fishing page. If you don't ever go out here, you definitely need to. If you fish any lake in Texas, this is where you need to start if you're new to the lake, because it's a great place to get some general ideas of how the lake fishes and kind of what to expect when you're out there. So let's take a look at this one really quick. Again, characteristics, I told you 4 miles southwest of Ennis. Surface area, 3,138 acres, so pretty small lake. And I'll tell you, up in this north end, the water gets fairly shallow. At least when you look at the drought times, you can definitely see where the water's pretty shallow up there. The maximum depth down by the dam, 43 feet, and it was impounded in 1965. You can click on that little current lake level, it'll tell you where the current lake level is. Conservation pool is 421 feet, and the fluctuation is only 4 feet, which really isn't that bad. And then as far as the clarity, moderately clear to milky. I'd say the clear stuff's definitely down here. Your milky stuff's gonna be more up on that northern side. Couple other things to take a look at here. Aquatic vegetation, hydrilla has become abundant. The north side of Highway 34. I can tell you that from a satellite imagery, when we're looking at it, I don't see all that hydrilla there, so that must be something fairly new maybe, or maybe you just can't see it from the satellite imagery. But typically when the water goes down, you can see some remnants of it or something. Anyways, let's keep going. Let's talk about lake records, because that's always good to see what the lake records are. We go out here, we look at largemouth bass. Good Lord, 1044, 23 inches, caught in 2006, and he caught it on a minnow. That's crazy. So there's some 10-pounders in here. There's some striped bass, there's white bass, there's buffalo smallmouth. Those aren't any fun. Basically stick with the largemouth. But you can see there, and then if we scroll down here, it tells you kind of the opportunities that are here. So it says largemouth is fair, catfish is good, crappie is good, white bass is excellent in this lake, hybrid and striped bass, and sunfish. It does talk about the hydrilla here again. With the increase in vegetation in the upper end, fishing for largemouth bass has improved. Catches in the open water species such as white bass, hybrid, stripers are very good. It also talks a little bit down here, I thought, right here, fishing cover and structure. Hydrilla north of Highway 34 bridge, which we're going to look at here in a minute, offers good access to largemouth bass. Best structure is along the face of the dam. The upper end of the lake is silted and shallow and is only accessible during high water. All right, so you know what that means. Let's go take a look at it. So we switched over now to Google Earth, and let's take a look at what we found out here on Lake Bardwell. Now, not a ton of fluctuation on this lake other than that north end, so obviously we weren't able to uncover a ton of stuff, but we were able to find quite a few things to fish around. I think we think we can get you guys on some fish pretty easily here. So let's take a look over here on this left-hand side. We've got the lake broken down by several different things for what we found. So let's just start here, and we'll work our way down. Start with bridges and culverts. You can see there's several different areas here. We've got some roadbeds as well as some bridges and some culverts that are out there too. Guys, these are money spots. They are definitely places where fish love, especially largemouth bass, love to be attracted to. Gives them cover, places to hide, places to ambush bait. It's a migration route as well, typically for bait fish and stuff like that. Is just great places to find fish, and you've got a lot of them. Now you got these right in here, as well as these down here by the dam. And then on this northern side, protecting these creeks, there's roadbeds across both of these creeks as well. I guess this would depend on how much water's in there and what's really in play as far as if these roadbeds up here come into play or not. I'm not sure. I've never fished this lake, so I'm not really sure how shallow that gets up there. Then we've also got channels and ditches. There's not too many, right? We've got a nice little ditch that's down here. You could get down and check that out. You've got a pretty good little channel that comes back here behind this park. And then you've also got some really good channels that are up here. Again, it just depends on the water fluctuation. But if you got enough water up in here, like in this case, this is an image from 2025. Looks like you have plenty of water up here. And in this case, you've got some pretty good channels to fish around. You've got a creek channel there with roadbeds and stuff. That's always good as well. And then up here, you've got several different creek channels that are coming down here, coming to this road again, and those roadbeds too. So if this is in play, if that water's deep enough and the bass get up there and stuff, guarantee you those are going to be good places to fish. If it's not deep enough and it's just brown water and only a foot deep, then they might not come into play, and you may need to move down here to these roadbeds or something like that. All right, let's take a look at the cover and structure because we didn't find very much as far as cover and structure goes on here. In fact, we only found one little spot, and that was right in here. We've got some structure that's right here. It looks like some kind of man-made dealy bob. I'm not even sure what it is, but you can see right here, you can see it. A lot of times when you find stuff like that and you just flip around it and fish around it, you'd be surprised at the fish that will be attracted to those areas. Now, we've got some offshore spots on this lake, not a ton. Again, not a big lake, right? Only 3,000 acres. And then really from a contour perspective, it was somewhat hard to find really any really good offshore spots, but we did find a few, and I won't switch this over to Navionics because it probably wouldn't do us much good, but I'll just kind of point them out to you here. We've got a nice little point that's right here. Obviously this point would be good to check out as well. We've got another good point here on this side. Either side of this point looks like it could be pretty good, so you might want to check that out as well. And then as we move up, we've got, looks like an offshore hump maybe that's out here, a possibly hump or a point that's out here. If we looked at the contour, I'd be able to tell you for sure. Another spot right there as well. And then you've got these two spots up here by the bridge that look like they could be pretty good. And another point that's over here on this side, coming right off of, looks like, I don't know if that's a boat ramp or what that is. Maybe that's a swim area or like a volleyball court. I don't know what that is, but right here, this point right here, it comes out to a point and it looks like it could be pretty juicy as well. So that is what we have from the offshore side. Again, all this up here is pretty shallow. And then moving down, we've got a couple ramps. I think there were 4 ramps on this lake. You've got one right here at the top, 2 at the top, and then 2 down here at the bottom. So not a ton. You could possibly get on a ramp bite there, I guess, a boat ramp bite. If you hit it during the right time, those boat ramps, it has a lot of algae on it. It collects a lot of bait fish. They're just good places to find fish, especially fishing off the edges of them. Typically, you'll be able to find some fish there. And then last but not least, we have a couple rocky areas. Not a lot of rock on this lake that I was able to find, but mainly all of it was down here right by the dam. Kind of what they were telling us on the breakdown from Texas Park and Wildlife. You got really good riprap all along the dam. The dam's going to be a honey hole for sure. Going to be a good place to fish. And then you got a little bit of rock that's over here, but that's really going to depend on the water level. If the water's up enough, that's going to come into play. If it's not going to come into play at all. So that is it for Lake Bardwell, guys. I hope that helps you out a lot. If you want the Simplistic Fishing files for this, you can always go out to our website, simplisticfishing.com, and pick up your SD card or your digital file for Lake Bardwell. We also have hundreds of other lakes out there. We've covered almost every lake in Texas. I don't know of any that we've missed. If you do know of one we missed, let me know and we'll get it broken down for you. So go check that out. And then also don't forget, we've got the Simplistic Fishing mobile app out there now to where you can filter all this stuff. You have GPS on the phone, shows you where you're at to where all the areas, and we're getting ready to add the contour lines into that thing as well to make it a full-blown fishing app. So go check it out, Simplistic Fishing. It's on the App Store or Google Play. And until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB.